Welcome, sorcerers. I'm your humble host Yunus, and you're watching Contested Cards. Evil has been lurking in the shadows for long enough now, teasing us and stretching us thin. Malnourished, they had us begging, but salvation has come. As Eric's curios are finally fully revealed Gothic, and it's beyond our wildest dreams. In this episode, we are gonna look at everything they've shown so far. Every spoiler, every artwork, mixed in with the usual dab of speculation. Join me as we take a close look at all the horrors that await.
Gothic is gonna be big. According to Eric, a milestone for the game, and it's hard to disagree. With 440 new cards, it's not only Sorcery's biggest set yet, but I'd also argue its most stunning. These artworks are what makes Sorcery so special, and they're in full effect here. Dark, gross, demonic and twisted, all the things Arthurian legends didn't dare to be, and now we know why. Gothic doesn't shy away from satanic and religious imagery and portrayal of the most vile creatures imaginable. Summon the heavens or raise hell, Gothic will be pure classic fantasy, in line with its Lovecraftian roots. Release is set for December the 5th worldwide. Alongside the sickeningly beautiful booster box, we're also getting a set of 4 pre-constructed decks. The Prophets of Doom bundle will not only feature dual element decks, but also 4 alternative artwork avatars done by 𝕲𝖙𝖎𝖈. These decks will allow for out-of-the-box play, while also leaving room for players to upgrade and experiment, with every deck consisting of 36 spells and 16 sides. Very similar to the alpha and beta decks, though it looks like we won't be getting a booster bundle this time around. All this info dropped alongside the official trailer for Gothic that overwhelmed us with stunning imagery and then way too many cards at once. But it showcases EC's confidence in the set and definitely stands apart from other games out there. And with this, spoiler season has officially begun. EC will be revealing even more up to release with regular articles on their website. In this video we'll cover the more than 80 cards already out there in the wild, which should still leave about 350 cards for you to discover when cracking the first pack in December. If you wanna go all in and don't miss a thing, stay tuned to the Sorcery socials, and of course, if you like what I do here and wanna see more, leave a like and subscribe, it helps me out a bunch. Deck size will change once more on December 5th, and this time for good, finally arriving at the always intended 60 card spellbook while keeping the 30 card atlas as introduced last year. A very welcome compromise. But we'll still be needing 100 sleeves because of Gothic's biggest new mechanic, an addition that's set to change the game of Sorcery forever: the collection. The collection basically acts as a third deck you'll be able to access via cards that make use of the term collection. In store and competitive settings, the collection will be limited to 10 cards total. Think of it as a kind of sideboard you can access during the active game. In private settings and with house rules, this may also mean what it says: your entire collection of Sorcery. Take 𝕲𝖙𝖎𝖈 for example, already one of the standout cards and easy choice for potential staple. It will let you pick any exceptional side from your collection to play instead of it. That includes all dual sides, tons of useful sides like Troll Bridge or Funeral Pyre, and generally most of what you could need in any given situation. I can see myself playing this in my Pathfinder deck for more consistent threshold, for example. Toolbox and Silver Bullet are also picks for absolute staples, as these serve as an additional form of common sense, but different. Toolbox will be exactly that, allowing you to access all your important ordinary spells, be it for movement, dispelling, dealing damage, or a minion for your combo. These being relics instead of magic spells will also enable surprising plays. They can be replicated and returned without replacing the need for our dear old common sense. Another example of the collection in use is Desecrate. It reads: an evil ally strikes its side, then may transform it into a desecrated crown from your collection. Desecrated Ground will likely serve the opposite purpose to Consecrated Ground, and either empower evil or depower everything else. Makes you think if they'll go the extra step and define the opposing good with angels, mortals and beasts. Desecrate definitely has one of the sickest no punches pulled artworks we've seen yet. Release the Hounds will give you 2 Hellhounds with 3 power and charge out of your collection for 7 mana. A really good deal and awesome art by Matthias Frisk. There'll also be sites that'll let you cast specific minions from your collection to add even more consistency, with Forsaken Crypt and Trouble Town. I feel like we are bound for way bigger board states than ever before with these constantly reassembling armies of the dead. To me, on paper, the collection sounds like a fantastic idea for the best of one game Sorcery has turned out to be. It could be an ingenious twist to make decks more agile and adaptable and thus more consistent in a way. It's sure to enable new combos and strategies. But as I said, it's gonna be a big change and will probably end up a requirement for all competitive settings. It all comes down to feeling in the end. Will the collection feel like a fun-enhancing addition, or will Sorcery never be the same after this? Apart from the collection, Gothic also introduces us to evil. Well, the term evil. In this case, a blanket keyword used to refer to demons, undead and monsters at once and allow for more concise card texts. On top of that, it's also super flavorful. Road to Perdition, for example, makes use of the evil keyword to refer to all demons, undead or monsters present, be it yours or the opponent's, in order to keep the text short and sweet. It's also only one of many examples of dual-purpose card design that seems to run through the set and which we'll get back to later. Before that, let's take a closer look at one of those evils, the faction of the undead. Gothic is packed to the brim with new undead minions and undead synergies. We'll be getting undead that start their unlife beneath the surface, a new form of delayed free power minion which will force more action underground. We've got undead that duck under projectiles and undead that lord over them. Fire is getting a bunch of useful new minions. I especially love Hot Wheel because it does what it's supposed to, and it will be a fun finisher for our good old Death Speaker. Talking about Death Speaker, Screamer is a seriously good free power minion with metal as fuck artwork and a great recurable Genesis effect. Water is also getting more undead. Frozen Horror is basically a Frost Nova on a stick, and I love Melissa Benson's pleasant take on evil. While Gothic is sure to be a big boon for our beloved Death Speaker, it's also expanding variety big time with 30 new avatars, 4 of which will be found in the Precon decks with alternative artwork. The Necromancer, the Persecutor, the Harbinger and the Savior. As of the making of this video, they've only revealed the Necromancer. This new ordinary avatar reads: once on your turn you may pay 1 mana to summon a skeleton token here. Which may sound benign at first, but will leave its mark with a steady flow of skellies. The new skeleton tokens are very much like their fleshy counterparts, other than that they can't move to defend. Not as agile those bony boys, but they are sure to come in handy in other ways. In line with the Necromancer's abilities, there'll also be plenty of cards to reinforce our Calcium army. Be it the pair of Novice and Master Necromancer or the new auto-include for every undead deck, the Noisome Twosome. There'll be more than enough ways to keep the machine going. In addition, we're also getting several sites that deliver replenishments like Open Grave and Open Mausoleum. All these skeletons not only serve as brainless attackers and defenders, but also as a resource to further your schemes. Use them to reincarnate better minions such as Foul Bones and Barrow White, or throw them at your opponent's face as a projectile with Bone Spear. Besides the plethora of willing skeleton tributes, there are also minions who'll end it themselves, and ways to sacrifice multiple minions at once. Now 𝕲𝖙𝖎 is an especially cool inclusion with perfect flavor. Furthermore, there'll be easy ways to fill the cemetery and profit from it. Cemetery Rats will prove a catalyst to every cemetery strategy and a perfect one-drop to open the game. Once the cemetery is filled, there are new ways to feed off the dead and grow stronger. Redman Hyena feeds on demons to double its power. Assimilator Snail may copy a new dead minion each turn. And Stitched Abomination is just the coolest man. In Gothic, what is dead may not stay so for long. There'll be plenty of ways to get cards returned to your deck and minions back into action. Additionally, we've seen cards that can be recast directly from the cemetery and minions that can recast lost spells. Second Wind will surely come in clutch more often than not, and Skeleton Mage is the ultimate power-up for the Death Speaker. Although cemeteries are sure to never run out of clients in Gothic, you better make use of them quickly, because they won't stay there for long. Tools to keep them empty will be present aplenty. Carrion Beetles ends up joining the good guys by keeping those coffins clean. Plague Pits ends it all at once. And Sphinx Sarcophagus makes an intriguing case to be run on either side. So far we've only seen a handful of demons, and are sure to see more in the days and weeks ahead. We've got a pair of sadistic demons that entice us with strong stats, whilst punishing the player in some form. 𝕲𝖙𝖎𝖈 has a death wish in demanding life every turn, and Treadwing strikes you unless you discard a card of your choosing, which can of course be used to your advantage. 𝕲𝖙𝖎𝖈, besides being an older artwork from back-end playtesting, also playfully references a certain other type of djinn. Another way of conquering the enemy's realm will be to swarm them with a bunch of low-powered minions that constantly ping for damage. I absolutely love 𝕲𝖙𝖎𝖈. Look at his friendly nasty grin and his band of mischievously happy buddies. They just love desecrating, and you can tell. Creef larvae are here to infest the enemy soil, being hard to get rid of once you've caught the plague. And Defiler Spire was made to be plopped down when the opponent least expects it, to double the damage of your invasion. But be careful, it may also be used against you. Besides infestations, the monster type also introduces snails for the first time. The monolithic kind, no less. We're getting a new puppy as well as Kraken, both with classic art by the legendary BROM. Water has been taken over by eldritch horrors, and Lovecraft is back in full force. Quotes as flavor texts, cosmic entities that couldn't be more on the nose in their art, and named creatures directly taken from the pages of his stories. Gothic is sure to be full of Lovecraftian horror. Spellcasters get a boost by being required to unleash powerful restrained spirits and demons. A really smart way to double their use and encourage more spellcaster play. Even though I love these extremely flavorful card designs, I've been made aware of possible ruling confusions that are already bound to cause some headaches. Wording on the Shackled Demon especially could have been a touch clearer. Kroll Morlocks are here and are not only a new giant for the tribe, but also showcase Earth's heavy borrowing theme this set. Also the first time we've seen Voidwalk in Earth. Can't have that many undead with at least a few mortals around. Cards like Gravedigger continue that borrowing theme, and Aino seems perfectly at home surrounded by polar bears and working with Ruler of Thule. Her backstory I found most interesting, as nothing in Gothic seems untouched by tragedy and cruel fates. I might cover it in a future video. And a few mortals that may roam the realm during these trying times are quickly wiped out and destroyed. I'm excited to see if they are able to truly get people to commit to either side of the conflict, either devoting yourself to pure evil or completely counteracting it. They need to make either side enticing enough for players to build their deck around that, making cards like this truly playable and impactful. Although the grueling evil may seem insurmountable at times, there'll be the occasional good on your way willing to help out. Gift of the Frog is not only a gift to all frog fanatics out there, but also seriously useful. A body and a card for 2 mana? Give me that. A few frogs won't be enough though to stem the forces of evil in the long run. For this we'll need more potent protection. Archangel Samuel is the first angel revealed and introduces us to the new ward keyword. So far we have no official statement from EC as to its definition, but it's very likely a new form of token that'll function similar to the lands. It'll likely ward off evil, so much is safe to assume. We surely won't have to wait long to find out. Again, protection won't be enough though. Gothic also introduces other ways to exorcise evil. Exile them from your sides with the crucifix, or smite them down with the godly day of judgment. Beyond that, Consecrated Crown takes evil's power and delivers one of the greatest card texts of all time. Frame that shit. New tools to counteract healing and especially Ring of Morrigan will be introduced. River of Blood halves all healing rounded down. Also a huge setback for us divine healing enjoyers. But a welcome new meta with a way less oppressive ring. And if that wasn't enough, Cursed Iron even punishes putting the ring on to begin with. Apart from that, Gothic debuts a multitude of awesomely designed magic spells with multi-purpose. Searing Truth can either be painful card draw or an unexpected finisher. Monster Morphosis can either upgrade your own minions or downgrade the opponent's. Buried Alive might seem like just another bury at first, but might lead to strategies where you actually want to purposely bury your own minions. Also, I can't forget to mention Swap here, which is already out there in the wild and being played. An extremely versatile magic that can turn the tides in an instant. Swap the opponent's ring for your own minion. True magic. Somewhat similar to the ring, but way less powerful, is the new relic Flame of the First Ones, which lets you gain 1 life as the opponent loses 1 every time it stops at a new site. Perfect for avatars that love to travel and find their path. Arthurian Legends surprised us with a new village back then, and Gothic now continues that trend by gifting us a new desert. Vast Desert completes the cycle of fire, again with art by 𝕲𝖈, and maybe my favorite desert yet. Does what it always does, and is always incredibly strong in limited environments, especially with all these skeletons running around. Beyond that, we are getting more oppressive sites. I especially like Fields of Fixes, silencing a site directly in front of it. A perfect use case for 𝕲𝖈. And I can't forget to mention Silent Hills. I'm super happy 𝕲𝖈 finally gets more cards in the base set. Water makes more use of a dry playing field with Mudslide, allowing you to push off all units within its column to the left or right. Contender for one of the most beautiful cards is the promo version for City of Glass. This exclusive artwork will be available at SCG cons in the US only. City of Glass itself is extremely flavorful, providing 2 instead of 1 mana under the risk of being shattered when attacked. The byline of a unique site where dreams are made or shattered also goes really hard. Talking about things that go hard, Darkest Dungeon is not only a clever homage to several brutal games at once, but also a cruel way to put the opponent on death's door and secure victory the next turn. Darkest Dungeon reads, Genesis, the next time an ally strikes an avatar this turn, drag both here. I love how open they keep the wording to enable sometimes counterintuitive plays. The base of Babel, baby! I mentioned it back in my first video on potential Arthurian Legends inclusions, and here it finally is. The Tower of Babel will still be 2 sides that combine for a greater effect, as they did back in playtesting. But unfortunately, we're still missing the important side, the apex, in order to actually gauge its effect. The playtest version simply produced more mana when both parts were connected, but this could very well have evolved and changed since then. Interestingly, it's also now an exceptional side. Now I want to highlight some flavor bangers and standout card designs. Demonic Contract had me gasping when I first read it, and then I noticed the fine print. It's just perfect. Frame it and put it on the wall next to Consecrated Ground. It reads, search your spellbook for any card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle afterwards. So far, so terrible, but then you may only search for a spell that has rarity lower or equal to a demon minion that you control. And as an additional cost to cast Demonic Contract, you must pay for life, or reach another accord with said demon by sacrificing a coin, egg, frog, gem, goat, rune, treasure or mortal soul. I especially love the last sentence and strongly suspect all these things to mean what they say. We haven't had a coin, goat or rune yet in Sorcery. How curious. The Chorus of Condemnation is a unique magic of destructive criticism. What more need I add? They are clearly taking multiplayer formats into consideration, because I don't see this having much use otherwise. And last, but definitely not least, Necronomy Concert is absolutely ridiculous and fun. Just perfect. As long as you're drawing at least 3 cards with it, I'd say it's worth it. Definitely goes into my Undead party deck. While Gothic's reveal trailer already bombarded us with a ton of spoilers, there were even more cards hidden within the mess towards the end of the video. With a keen eye, we may discern the following cards. Key to the City, a unique relic that costs 1 mana, provides 1 mana, and lets the bearer ignore side abilities. Faith Incarnate, a 5 mana Earth minion with 0 power that resembles Jesus with 4 arms. And Pile of Skulls, which costs 5 mana. With a new set also comes a new set of artists. We've already seen the fantastic art of BROM, who is being paid tribute here, very much similar to Frank Frazetta in Alpha. Most if not all his iconic pieces stem from the Guardian CCG back in the 90s. A clear and steady inspiration to the creation of Sorcery, and now being more than overtly paid homage to. In many ways, Sorcery is a kind of spiritual successor to Guardians, and having these artworks present here now somewhat feels like a homecoming. In Sorcery's relentless pursuit to catch them all and acquire art of every fantasy art go to ever exist, BROM is only the logical next step, but not the only new brush on the block. Sorry, I had to. As David O'Connor also joins the gang. We've already seen his 𝕲𝖙𝖈, but there'll be more. Another existing piece of classic art of his is now being reintroduced through Sorcery. Originally commissioned as the book cover for Stephen Donaldson's A Man Rides Through, it now serves as art for Sorcery's displays. These are by far not the only new artists to join Sorcery with Gothic. There are so many more we're going to cover in future videos. Besides that, we've seen a bunch of confirmed art by Sorcery's mainstays. When Gothic first got teased all the way back at SorceryCon Vegas last year, the first and only thing we saw was this heavenly artwork by Drew Tucker. To this day, the corresponding card is an unknown, though most likely a side. Also an unknown is this piece by Drew depicting a huge ball of hay from the trailer. And they just revealed his artwork for Flare. Drew truly never misses. Talking about the trailer, there also was this artwork depicting a peaceful village church, most likely done by Vasily. And this market scene, I can't quite figure out who did it. Maybe Druid Parish? Feel free to let me know in the comments. Another one of those serene scenes from the start of the trailer introduced us to Liz Danforth's City of Plenty, a vast piece full of color and detail. Lindsay Crummett recently showed off the abomination that is the Regurgitator, a huge lumping creature straight out of nightmares. Holy Warrior by Elvira Pawlikowska offers us another glimpse of the good side. Brian Smith is getting a bunch of artwork in Gothic. We've got to see a new pair of paintings by him, Sow the Earth and Salt the Earth, 2 giant godly hands up to no good. And even more reveals by him at the current Australian Crossroads. Originally meant as the image for the Vile Imp, now Pith Imp joins the game. Really intriguing to all Imp fans, and I'm certainly one of them. We've already gotten a bunch of COD Alpha artworks re-revealed for Gothic, so it's easy to assume we'll see even more. These are some of my candidates for most likely inclusion. Brian Smith's Genocide. If Desecrate is in the set, I don't see why Genocide can't be. Another board wipe or killing of multiple minions, sinister and brutal. Lord of Lies is one of Gothic sickest artworks he's done for Sorcery, and they finally need to print it on a card. He's certainly evil enough. Also, one of those artworks that has long been waiting for its moment. We're not getting a set more perfect for 𝕲𝖙𝖎𝖈 Succubus to be included than this. Likely a fire minion with seducing effect. And this was pretty much everything we know about Gothic so far. If I dare to miss anything, let me know in the comments below. Gothic releases on December the 5th this year. Suggested retail price for the booster box will be $166.60 US. Ha, see what they did there? A $6.60 increase over beta, while price of the boosters decreases again in comparison to Arthurian Legends. The precon bundle will go for $66.60, more than double of what beta's precons were priced at, and with less contents as we are not getting a booster bundle this time around. I can't be mad at the small price increase of the box. The increase of the decks is a more hard pill to swallow. They were always a ridiculously good price, but not increasing the size of these decks and getting rid of the booster can in my mind only be rectified by extremely valuable inclusions in these decks. There'll also be a new 2-player playmat, again in the horizontal format with sick art by Ian Miller. Unfortunately, these also increase in price to $44 a pop. We haven't heard from all regions as of yet, but it looks like Europe may actually get a price decrease, which isn't something I'd ever expected, but I'm definitely not gonna complain. The first listings have the boxes at 139 euros, precons around 50 to 55, and the playmat somewhere between 30 and 40. So actually kinda good news for the Europeans for once. Other than that, Gothic looks like an absolute banger of a set, a full-on home run. More than I'd hoped for and even better than I expected. Awesome flavor and art, intriguing new card designs and mechanics. To be honest, I can't believe we're being blessed with a TCG this good in times where seemingly everything else is getting worse and worse. My pre-orders are down, I can't wait for December the 5th to dive into the set and just truly enjoy every second of it. Sorcery has become a steady highlight of the year for me, and this year seems extra sweet.
Okay, enough with my gushing. This has been it for the episode. As always, I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks so much for watching, and I see you guys next time.